Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday night. Y'all already know what it is. Let's smoke and let's talk. Well, see, I got the 49er gear on, right? So, let's talk about the Deebo trade, huh? Let's talk about the Deebo trade. Well, in the words Cam and Mace, it is what it is. Or the show, right? But let's break it down real quick. Wasn't shocked by Deebo being traded, right? Um, Felt like it was gonna happen. Of course, it was eventually gonna happen. I feel like Deebo played his part, and shout out to Deebo. I'm not mad at Deebo. I know a lot of people kind of, irritated. He wanted to trade. He showed up to the Super Bowl with AJ Brown jersey on. Now he got to go against AJ Brown 2 times a year, and it's gonna be really interesting. I wish him the luck. Good luck over there. And going to the Commanders, that's a good look. That's a good look. Let's see if they pick up his player option. But that's a good look, him going over there to the Commanders. It gives them depth at the wide receiver. You can actually plug him in a running back. You already, you know what I'm saying. He can do punts. He can do kickoff returns. So you got a hell of a wide receiver. Now, a fifth round pick, a fifth round pick. I think we could have got a third, right? What y'all think? A third? We got a fifth round pick for him. A fifth. I heard they were trying to get the defensive tackle, but it fizzled out. The Commanders didn't want to let him go, which, of course, you know what I'm saying? We shall see. And this is just the first steps. I think the 49ers having a off season where they will, I think, add about 2 to 3 free agents. I'm not sure necessarily which positions because the 49ers, they'll mess around and get 4 defensive tackles. You know what I'm saying? All defensive ends, all on the line as far as the free agents. But we shall see. Um, they've been throwing the Myles Garrett trade around. Let's see if that happens or if he even gets traded. He did request a trade, so 9 out of 10, he will be traded. And then you have in about 6 weeks, the draft. And it's been mixed. I've been hearing the 49ers looking at an offensive tackle, cornerback. It's just been depending on what network you go and you look at to see, what mock drafts are available. And you see it's just switching. So nobody knows until the draft day. But, we do have free agency, which is approaching shortly. And we shall see what happens. They definitely going to need a cornerback, right? I think. I'm not too sure if they're going to sign Charvarius Ward again. But we do need another cornerback. The big piece right now, and I guess the big decision is whether or not we're going to keep Greenlaw or not. What y'all think? I think we should sign Greenlaw. I think we should. Um, with Salah coming back, Greenlaw, I think that'd be great. If will the 49ers make that call because he is coming off an injury in the Super Bowl? I'm not too sure. I would love to see him come back. I think he'll come back still healthy. I think he'll be healthy. I don't think that'll be a problem. Even if he missed a couple of games, I mean, hey, he hurt himself in the Super Bowl. Come on now. And that Super Bowl run that we was on last year, or 2 years ago, well, last year, yeah, that was great. Let's see, based with all the injuries that we had in the season, and I'm not going to use the injuries as why we did not make the playoffs, right? I'm not going to use the injuries. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. This is just my take. This is just with my eyes, right? Me and my me and my OG partner, man, we were having a little debate, and I told him of course, we're going to sign Purdy, right? We don't have no other choice but to sign Purdy, right? But I seen what Purdy can do when he has a team around him. And then I seen what he can do when he doesn't have those pieces. Okay, when he didn't have Brandon Ayuk. One game when we did, a couple of games when we didn't have George Kittle. And yes, Kyle is a hell of a offensive mind. And I understand the offense wasn't clicking as it should, but this is what's so crazy. The 49ers, Mason was, if I'm not mistaken, the leading running back in yards and rushing yards when Christian McCaffrey came back. And he totally stopped using Mason. Okay? Now, this is a little bit end of the year. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the Super Bowl and kicking the shit out of the Chiefs' ass, which I did not think was going to happen. If I was betting, I would have bet that the Chiefs was going to win, but they didn't. And now it's kind of back even now. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia showed, especially with that defensive line, can the defensive line can the defense once again control the Super Bowl, which they did. Wasn't a good Super Bowl. Everybody knows that it wasn't a good. The Super Bowl, it was over in the first, what? The end of the first quarter was over. I would have loved for the 49ers to make Pat Mahomes try. But hey, maybe next year. Let's see what happens in free agency. Okay, let's see what happens. I am hoping that the 49ers can get Myles Garrett and they can solidify that defensive line. I'm not too worried about the linebackers because I believe the linebackers is there, but the secondary and the defensive line lacked last year. And which was crazy is the prior year, the year that we went to the Super Bowl, the secondary was looking good and we were having problems with the defensive line again. It was the secondary that was looking good. Okay? So, I'm going to wait, of course, and we got to see what happens in free agency, and even after the draft. But I'm going to say it like this. I felt like the 49ers window lightweight closed last year when we didn't even make the playoffs. The Rams did their thing. Shout out to the Rams. LA Rams. Shout out to them because they did their thing. I didn't even think they were going to make the playoffs, but they wound up making the playoffs. And they went on and went to the second round, right? If I'm not mistaken. Detroit, big disappointment. I was telling everybody I did not believe in Detroit for some reason. I just didn't believe in Detroit. Um, I feel like Detroit is lacking something. What that is, I'm not too sure, but I feel like they're lacking something. And the fact that they didn't have their best defensive player. When you don't have your best defensive player, it's hard to make a Super Bowl run, especially in the playoffs, when you've built your team around your superstar player. And once he get injured, you need two or three players to fill a superstar void. Okay? It is what it is. You're going to need, everybody is going to have to play together. And Detroit just did not, they didn't look together when they played the Commanders. Okay? So, like I said, I feel like the 49ers window closed. Now, depending on the free agency, depending on the moves that they make in free agency, is going to determine, right? And even in the draft, right? As far as which positions they're going to fill. They definitely need, like I said, a cornerback. They have to figure out what they're going to do with the defensive line. We're going to need another wide receiver. Okay? I would love for us to use our fullback a little bit more. I feel like, why not? We should be able to use him a little bit more, and we don't. We're gonna have the running backs. The quarterback position is, what Brock Purdy are we going to get? Because when nobody had any film on him, he was on fire. As soon as they get film on him, then he's not that same player, right? He's not that same player. And, as much as I want to say, Kyle Shanahan in the offense as a quarterback, you got to have that awareness. And his awareness, I just did not see. I didn't see. But like I said, we're going to re-sign him. Okay. How much? That's we shall see. Okay, we shall see. As far as the overall 49ers, like I said, we got Robert Saleh back. We did make a change in the special teams coach. I forget what special team coach we picked up. But that window, we don't need necessarily a playmaker. I've been hearing Devontae Adams. Let's see. I don't know if that will happen. I think that's kind of a far-fetched. But if we was to make that happen, Devontae Adams coming to the 49ers would be a good look. Especially with BA coming back from his knee injury, which set him out of all last year. You know what I'm saying? So, and how healthy will he be at the start of the season? Because I forget what game he got injured in, but it was kind of like in the middle of the season, or like beginning of the season. Maybe it was the fourth or fifth game. I'm not too sure. But like I said, for him coming over there, and then with DA coming over there, do y'all think is too many superstars? That's Kittle, that's McCaffrey, that's BA, that's Jennings, that's Purcell. Um, that's yeah, like that's it's only one ball. So, but we do honestly we need a wide receiver threat, and Da coming home would be great. I wanted him to come home last year. I felt like we should have traded. My personal opinion was we should have traded Ba for Devontae Adams. That gives us a deep threat. We really didn't have any deep threats once Ba went out. We didn't have none. So I, we have to improve as far as the defensive side, though. We're going to have to fill up. Um, Leonard Floyd, I thought he was going to have a bigger impact than what he did, but he didn't. But two, let me say this, right? If if you checked out some of my early 49er blogs that I did, you notice that I said with us having a new defensive coordinator at that time last year that we were going to have to go through the the difficulties of sitting up there on defense because he had never been a defensive coordinator before. So because he has never been a defensive coordinator, we can't expect him to just, even with the pieces that are there that the 49ers have, that he's just about to take the 49ers defense to a next level. He wasn't going to be able to do that. And that reason is based off of the fact he's never been there. Had we had, if you notice, oh, I forget our the last defensive coordinator that we had, but when we went to the Super Bowl, right, beginning of the season was shaky. Once he was able to get a feel of the defense improved, and that's what we were waiting on. This past year, we was waiting on. Okay, we give him a couple of games. We got to at least give him a month, at least 6 games. And in those 6 games, if you know, in those 6 games, if we 3-3, if we come out 3-3, great. We started out good. What we could not do is keep a lead, and part of that was on the defense. So yeah, we did get Coach Robert back. I think it's gonna be more than just getting a coach back. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we only got him for a year, right? Y'all can let me know in the comments. We only got him for a year. So that means the 49ers is 9 out of 10. They're going to try to put their all in this year. So I do expect them to make a couple of more moves. The next moves that they make, I think, will be bigger splashes as far as maybe a trade goes. But I don't feel like the 49ers is done, okay, with making moves. All right, I don't think they're done. So all 49er fans, rest assured, I believe this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning. We don't need that many pieces. And I know you might say, well, we didn't get to the playoffs. We don't need that many pieces. We just need some pieces. We may need right tackle. A right tackle would be great. Veteran right tackle. But yeah, we're going to see what else happens. But 49ers, keep y'all fingers crossed. Hopefully, like I said, we can get Myles Garrett, and that'll be a start. Even if we just got Myles Garrett, and we just picked up a couple of um, free free agents that's not big names. And like I said, we don't need a whole roster change. We just need a couple of more pieces to solidify that defense, especially the defensive front and the back end. That's why I'm like, we might as well just sign Greenlaw. Why not? But as far as a business goes, I get it. They don't want to invest in a player that has already he torn his Achilles. And remember, Greenlaw was already lightweight, injury prone. You know what I'm saying? He was missing games before then. So yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see what they do um, going towards the future. All right, but that's it. I don't want to spend too much time up on here. That's it. Peace.